You watched the game versus Astralis versus MRP. What are your take on the new Astralis team?
Interesting. I think interesting is probably the best place to start. I think if we go long-winded, a little bit more podcasty, I think Astralis right now, with Lucky not AWPing, is maybe not long-term, right? It gives me a sneaking suspicion that the team might have more changes in the future, and unfortunately that might be the end of Lucky. I don't know if the game plan is legitimately to have Glaive as the primary AWPer going forward, right? That's my takeaway for long-term. Short-term, in the summary of what we've seen so far, Config, after 19 weeks off, after an injury, comes back and drops bombs. That's fucking awesome. I just swore. I hope that's okay. That's great to see. But Blame F as well, playing at a high level while sick, right? Those are all good signs. Zipek's doing his role, and then Glaive and the boys looking a bit more motivated. So I think overall for the team, it's a great debut. It's a great start. But I have a lot of questions about how the team's going to look in the future, because I have a hard time believing that this team that functioned as the best in the world with a star AWPer is going to attempt to do the same with their in-game leader AWPing. Now, if they do, and they revolutionize the way the game's played again, props to them. But at the moment, I don't think and I don't feel that that's going to be the future of the team.
So you're saying, are you afraid from Lucky's perspective in his starting lineup?
I think that the fact that he was brought into the team to AWP and now he's rifling says enough, right? I know he's only young, I know he's only 18, but to put him into a position that, you know, he looked like he was playing anchor positions, you know, he's playing the B bomb site on overpass, for example, he's playing the top site on nuke. Those are positions that, sure, a rifler can play, but you look at what he was geared for, it's not what they brought him in for. So I would be a little bit worried if I was Lucky, yeah.
Astralis seem to be pioneers in the way of strats, but what did it surprise you that they dropped the AWP to Glaive and not Lucky?
It did surprise me, because I thought that, like, okay, well, with the pieces, they have a lot of experience with the other four. They have a lot of firepower with Config and Blame F coming in, and that could be the buffer they need to allow Lucky to see if he can become that star AWPer. If they're playing to win right now, and this was the best approach short term, I can understand that, right? But that's the thing, we're having to theory craft. So with what we've seen, it's not a positive sign for, in my opinion, the lineup going forward, as it is right now. But I think with the other parts and what we saw, it is a positive sign to show that this new Astralis is going in the right direction to be hyper competitive again.
You cannot ignore talking about Config as well. How important do you think he will be in this new Astralis lineup?
I think he's going to be the star player of the team, right? Depending on what happens with that fifth role, I'm speculating. Let's say if it stays as it is right now with the team, I think that Config will be the star player, because he is the X factor of the team, right? In terms of his entry fragging, secondary AWPing, he's hard to predict. He's the type of player who, when he's feeling the game, he's going to do what he thinks is best, and those type of individuals are hard to stop. So Config is a massive pickup. I think that having him in this squad is huge.
You saw him pop off yesterday. Do you think he will be able to do that in a regular basis?
Good question. I think with the playstyle that we've seen from Config in the past, he's shown the ability to do that. I don't want to say more often than not, but pretty regularly. In terms of consistency, those type of games, I don't think you can expect him to consistently drop 30 frags. You can't consistently expect anybody to drop 30 frags unless your name is simple or Zywoo, right? So if Config does that and he comes out of his injury, and then we already knew he was a star player, but he does that I think would blow everybody away. So I don't think we should expect it, but I think that you should see it because of his play style, right? When he has a good game, he just farms that momentum.